and
false news has become all too common on social media. Unfortunately, some members of the media push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Yo, everybody, this is a Dreadlock Dog here, bringing in some amazing news as to just how this campaign went off the rails. When I'm talking about cackling Kamala there, and the fact that she spent over $1 billion in 3 months. Isn't that crazy? You know, $1 billion. And it just shows how it was the rich folks that were donating to her. All these rich folks, they were giving her gobs and gobs of money. But at the same time, she was handing out checks left and right to those rich folks, to other rich folks. You know, it's just amazing. Let's go over all of that and who profited from this. This right here is Lisa Lai. And she is a campaign. She goes and collects monies from her donors from the Democratic side, and this is her take on it.
I feel as though I'm one of the only voices speaking out. And if we do not confront the lessons of election night, it's going to happen over and over again. We're going to keep losing. If we don't recognize a rightward shift of America, we're also going to lose. We have to have a careful financial accounting of what exactly happened. How did we possibly blow through $1 billion in just 3 months? It's just astounding, not just to me, but to many of my fellow donors. I've been speaking with them on an hourly basis. People are just completely shocked and just craving answers. A lot of them are sending me messages of support, asking me to stay the course and to keep asking. And we just haven't really gotten any explanation from the campaign as to what happened. And I say this, it pains me to say this. This is very hard for me to say because these are my friends. These are my, these are people that I've worked with for a long time. But if we don't have any accountability, how could we possibly move forward in an effective way, not only to serve this party, but serve our country? I feel as though...
Exactly. She said it. You know what? It's just amazing because Kamala just killed this person. She went to her associates and asking money on Kamala's behalf. And the thing about it is that this is a career politician here. She started at the age of 25 and she has been in the game for a very long time and she understands how it works. She just does not understand how this happened though. And let's just see if we can figure out or at least get a better idea as to exactly what happened here, right?
So how much money was spent to get so little on the Democratic side? Watch.
The truth is, this is just an epic disaster. This is a $1 billion disaster. General O'Malley Dillon promised all of us that Harris would win. She even put videos out saying that Harris would win. I believed her. My donors believed her. And so they wrote massive checks. I feel like a lot of us were misled.
And then, Alexa, I was looking at this, the $1 billion campaign and some of the things they spent, $15 million plus for celebrity event production. They paid Oprah Winfrey's organization $1 million.
$1 million to a woman who is worth billions. You know, Oprah has said that it was to pay her staff and all for an interview. So $1 million for her staff for an interview. Wow.
And they were still asking all of these people to give small dollar donations to the campaign.
Right. And you see now after that has come out and that they paid the Call Her Daddy podcast over 6 figures, that's even more egregious now knowing that FEMA purposely was directed to ignore Trump houses, signs with Trump houses. That's terrible. And the Call Her Daddy example is kind of overall speaking for how the campaign was. It was a lot of smoke and mirrors. There was a lot of celebrity endorsements, free concerts, billed as rallies. There was no substance. And so, the campaign, I think, wanted to coast on vibes, but Vibes doesn't pay off your car loan.
Exactly. She called it. You know what? There's so many folks out there that all they wanted to do, actually, they just supported Kamala to go see people twerk on stage, to go see folks that, in concert, where Beyonce didn't hold a concert. She didn't perform. Beyonce performed for Obama. I don't know what happened here, that Beyonce just chose not to perform, even though she was paid $10 million to be able to speak on Kamala's behalf. She gave, 3 minutes? I'm not saying that Beyonce was wrong or anything, but at the same time, no matter what, Beyonce really didn't support Kamala. She just went there for the money, just as Eminem had and so many other folks had. It's ridiculous. You know what? Let's get a little deeper as to exactly what happened here, all right?
At the same time, got to pay attention to the campaign that flopped big, and that was Kamala Harris. And it appears the biggest flop not only was just the vote total, but it actually was a lot of the money decisions that were made inside the campaign. So we have curated now a list. It appears that the Kamala Harris campaign, despite raising over $1 billion, still ended up some $20 million or so in debt, and is now currently fundraising, still asking people for money after she lost. Let's put this up there on the screen. So this is an example of one of the emails that she's been sending out now. She says, first and foremost, we want to acknowledge the fear, the confusion, the sadness many of you are feeling at this moment. For others, you may be looking for something meaningful and important to channel your emotions. If that's you, then we're asking you to make a donation to the Democratic Party today. Here's why this is important. As you read this, there are U.S. Senate and House races that are too close to call or within the margin of recounts. They all need your help to get across the finish line. So
no matter what, Kamala screwed up. And this is just, I'm so glad she's not in office, because if she was in office and this is how she managed her campaign, going over budget, overspending by $20 million in a 3-month period, and spending $1 billion. $1 billion in 3 months. That is ridiculous. How could she possibly have done that and then had to have gone over budget by $20 million? Just think of it. Half of that $20 million went to Beyonce alone. Wow.
Happy 70th birthday, Rev. Happy birthday. I celebrate the day you were born. You have been, over all of your years, such an extraordinary leader. You are a voice of truth, a voice of conscience, a voice of practicality around what we must address.
A man of truth, word of truth. You know what? Kamala had donated $500,000 to this man's nonprofit. And this is a nonprofit that's been investigated more than once with regards to just wrongdoings. Al Sharpton has been in the news and under scrutiny for decades as to his dealings just being wrong. And here we go with Kamala Harris donating $500,000 and getting support from this person.
And what we can do. And I thank you so much for your friendship. Happy birthday.
I have to ask you about your opponent. He used a very ugly term about you last night, using the S word as vice president. And how do you react to this kind of street talk from someone who wants...
You know what? This is ridiculous. This interview here cost her $500,000. And no doubt, Al Sharpton really didn't care. He was just glad to be able to have gotten the money. He took the money and ran. So this interview, just like so many others, were nothing more than garbage. Paid garbage, really. And so, aside from those freaky folks, we all understand that Kamala had herself a good number of other folks who had supposedly supported her. I can't believe the list myself. And we've got ourselves here. I'm sorry, Anthony. Yeah. God, no, I don't even remember his name now. Mark Anthony. There we go. He's that much in my life. I'm just amazed as to, this Puerto Rican here. Well, actually, you shouldn't think about it if you think about it. Remember that joke that everybody's clinging on to? Mark Anthony is Puerto Rican, no doubt. Gave him a reason to vote for Kamala Harris. And, of course, we've got the wonderful George Clooney and also Julia Roberts, I'm sorry. Pretty Woman, definitely not one of my favorite movies. And neither is her as an actress, that's for sure. Never watching another Julia Roberts movie. And in addition to that, Will Ferrell. You know what? With one of the dumbest possible videos, I just couldn't. I had no clue what the heck he was talking about. And if you did, please put in the comments below as to what was up with him. Unfortunately, you know what? We've got ourselves Han Solo. You know what? It was Harrison Ford, which disappointed me a bit, but didn't really surprise me. And Spike Lee, which shouldn't surprise anybody at all. Stevie Wonder, obviously he's deep in the pockets and deep in the DNC, along with Bruce Springsteen, a washed-up singer that was made famous back in the 80s because born in the USA. Even though he was born in the USA, he sure as hell didn't support the USA. It's all about him and trying to support the rich folks. Here's Cher. We've got Beyonce, again, $10 million. So many actresses, and of course, one of the most famous who had endorsed her, which was Taylor Swift and her Swifties, who had even turned against her. No matter what, Taylor Swift's personal value dropped because of her endorsement. And it's sad to say that, but you know what? I'm glad to see that people understood as to what the reality is and what direction we need to go in this nation. And it's not a matter of it being that we're supporting the rich and famous anymore. We're supporting the people. And that's what Donald Trump's all about, supporting the people. So I'm happy that he is president-elect. I do hope that we can keep him safe. Please do me a favor and put an amen in the comments below to be able to keep Donald Trump safe so he can serve out these last 4 years. This is going to be for the last 4 years of Donald Trump as president. Hopefully it'll be J.D. Vance the next in line, and we keep continuing with this Republican mindset of supporting the people and not the rich and famous, because they're the ones who profited. So do me a favor, folks. Like, share, subscribe. So hang tight for the next video and shoots!